Hey everybody, this is John with Proficient Mower. I also work as Briggs fan on JustAnswer.com. Tonight I'm going to shoot a video. Got a customer on Just Answer who's in the process of working on a Tecumseh carburetor for their push mower. And I told him I would shoot a video showing them the walkthrough and the steps of rebuilding the Tecumseh carburetor. So that's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and get started. What I've done is I pulled a donor carb. This is just your basic Tecumseh carb. Got plenty of them laying around. So I'm going to slap a rebuild kit in this one just to kind of show them. The first thing is, if you end up with gasoline in your oil, the problem is that the rubber inlet valve in these, they wear over time and they crack because they are rubber. So when that metal needle, when the float closes, you shouldn't be able to blow in this at all, like in your gas line with it upside down. See how right now, when it's upside down like this, your float's closed. So you shouldn't be able to blow into it at all. I can't. But you have customers who get, basically they go ahead and they get, gas in their oil. It smells like a gas smell. The reason why is because when it's upside down like this, you can. So this one you can't. You should be able to blow in it when it's down. When you're holding the thing down like this, the float's dropped, the needle's dropped. Great. But when you close it, you shouldn't be able to. And you can on this one. But we're going to rebuild it anyways, just to help with this walkthrough. So let's go ahead and get this set up. So let's see here. I'm going to try to get a really good angle here on my little camera mount. See if we can get a good angle right about there. That's not too bad. That'll actually work if I can get it to stay. Alright, so here we go. First thing you're going to do is you're going to undo this bolt right here. So, I don't have my sockets with me because my tools are out, locked up in my truck. But I did bring a little wrench. So basically, it's usually a 1/2 inch socket. But you're going to undo this. Now once you undo that, this will come out. This little bolt here has holes. See them holes right there? One in the side, another in the side, one in the top. You should be able to blow through this to, like if you blow in this bolt here like this, and be able to have the air come out on both sides. You can also take a straw with your carburetor cleaner, put the straw down in here, shoot it, it'll spray out both sides. This one's open. So that's great. If your lawnmower won't run, Tecumseh engine, you pull it apart a lot of times. 9 times out of 10 with Briggs and Tecumseh, that's a problem. So then you pull your bowl off. You're going to have to remove your pin right here. You got your pin which holds your float and everything on. You remove that. Here you go. You remove that. Your pin, your float, and your needle. So now your carb is pretty much wide open. But deep inside here, I'm going to have to try to get some light, is a little rubber inlet valve right in there. So let's go ahead and get this camera under some light, see if you guys can see it. Do you see that little white rubber thing right down in that hole there? I don't know if you can see it or not. There you go. You're going to get a new one of them with your carburetor kit. So your basic kit looks like this right here. This is one of our basic kits. Tecumseh float valve kit. That's what you need. It's a good rebuild kit. Comes with a new washer right here. The new washer for the bolt. The new needle. And the hinge for it. See the little black thing? Sometimes they change colors on them. The older Tecumseh ones, the one that you're going to pull out is white. And then you get a new bowl gasket. So let's go ahead and get ready to rebuild. This is my little carb box here. I keep all my tools for carbs and rebuilding in this little box right here because I have different picks and different adjustments for the weed eaters and stuff. But I like to use a little a pick just like this. And what you're going to do is this. Let's go ahead and set this back here. I'm going to try to go ahead and free this thing out pretty easy so you guys can see it. Okay. Let's go ahead and set it right there. Great. So, what I do is I take this pick, you go right down in here like this, and you can get your pick in there, and you kind of push it to the side a little bit and pull out nice and easy, and eventually you'll work this rubber valve out. And when you do, that's when you'll have this thing completely out. Let me see if it's out already. Might have already came out. I was hoping it didn't, but nope, still in there. You can feel it, it's rubber, so you have to pick at this thing. You can use like a paper clip too, but I prefer to use these. There it is. Just came out. So it's fallen right here, but it's out. So there you go. I don't know if you can see it. So this is usually what fails right here, this little rubber thing. If you look closely, they got grooves on one side. See them grooves? I don't know if you can. I hope you can. Those rings always go in facing down, but these things wear over time. It's rubber, so that's going to happen. And what happens is when the needle shuts, you can't close it off. So here's what you do. This one's no good. We're going to go ahead and put in a new one off of our kit. So you're going to open up your carb kit here. While you have your carburetor off, it's a great time. You need to drain your oil too, as well. You do not want to try to run that thing anymore with that oil in there unless you want to score up your cylinder or lock your motor up, because that is what will happen. So you get your new little inlet valve and needle. See them right there? Okay, so we're going to open that up. Okay, got everything right there. Set your needle there. Inlet valve. Make sure everything's out. Okay. Alright, so that's good. Alright, so your new inlet valve is right here, okay? What you're going to do is, you got to find the grooves on this thing. It's got grooves. It's got like little rings on it on this side here. The other side is completely smooth. This side's got the rings in it. The rings in it have to go facing down in this carburetor. So what you do is you take this little round piece here and you put it in there right like this. Okay? Now once you get it set up, you'll get it set up like this. The smooth side should be facing up, the ring side down. If you do it backwards, it's not going to work and you've wasted your inlet valve. See this right here? Do you see that smooth side facing down? I mean facing up. The ring side is facing down in the carb. You want that smooth side facing up towards you. Now, what I do is this. To each his own. Because I repair these so much, I have a pretty nice little old drill bit that I keep and use for this only. So you need to find yourself a drill bit. If you have one in your house, just an old one, a broken one, you just need to keep it because I keep them right in here. I keep two sizes, one for Briggs and one for Tecumseh, because both of their inlet sizes are. You're going to use the bottom of the drill bit, the piece that goes in the drill. Do not use the bit. But you're going to take the bottom of the bit, because it's flat and it's smooth and it's hard, and you push this down and in. push that down and in. You just push it down and in until it stops. See that? Your new inlet valve is in. That's the main reason why you were losing, basically getting gas in that oil right there. Once that's pushed in, it's in. So now you'll take this and you'll grab your float, grab your pin on your float. You're going to hang your needle back on your float. When you do that on these, on the Tecumsehs, there's a little bit of a hanger thing that points upwards after the needle's in. That needs to be facing up on that float. So what we'll do is this. You go ahead and you put it on there like this. Okay? You set it on with that little piece facing up. Can you see that? Once it's hanging on there like that, you take it, you set it down in that hole where the inlet valve was, put the float back on, line up your holes, and it should be good to go. We'll test it in a minute. Once you get it lined back up, you take your float pin, you put your float pin back through. Line your float pin back up right here. Here we go, getting this all lined back up. Once your float pin's lined back up, there you go. Now that float's hanging way too low. Even though the gas flow stopped, you want your float to be even right here with the rest of it. So you got to take it back off and adjust the float. A lot of times that happens when you get a new inlet valve. So what you do is to adjust the float, you've got to kind of pry the little middle part up just the teeniest bit. Do it a little bit at a time because it doesn't take much. So I'm going to pry this up just a little bit. You can use a screwdriver, if need be. A little flathead. Just be careful because you are dealing with a copper float here. But you just want to put that screwdriver in and just give it a little bump up. Okay? So then after that, what you'll do is, alright, we've adjusted it up some. Put your needle back down in the hole, line up the float in the hole and everything. That came apart. It's a little bit of a trick sometimes, but it's not too bad. Alright, so we just put it back on there, back on the hinge. Set the carb there, that way I can... Okay, now once you do that, you're going to put it back down in there. Drop your needle down in while it's attached to the float. Drop the float in, make sure that these are all lined up like this. And then you put your pin back through again. There we go. That's a lot better. I actually like mine a little bit up, but that's suitable. See how level that float is with the body? It's going down a teeny bit, but you can even have it up a little bit like that, but it's okay. So now let's try to blow in it and see. Nothing. Now when the float drops down, drops the needle and drops everything. But when the bowl's on, when the float drops down, it will go ahead and it'll drop the needle and everything with it. So the bowl will stop it from completely coming out. Okay. So here we go. Put this back on. Okay. it's on.